Hello, in this video I'll be sharing with you 3 steps that I took to help pay off my student loans within a year and a half of graduating from college. I know how suffocating student loans can be. It's sort of like that monkey that's on the back of your shoulder that's just continuously nagging at you, and it just ruins your ability to enjoy life. I graduated college with around $16,000 worth of student loan debt, and I know overall that may seem like a small amount, but I guarantee you that the ideas I'll be sharing with you can help pay off any type of debt that you have. The first step is to actually write out how much you owe in each loan group, or just the total amount of loans you owe when it comes to student loans. And I know this step seems pretty self-explanatory and a little bit easy, but I guarantee you that it's the first and most important step you need to take, because actually writing down how much money you owe is so powerful, because it gives basically your brain, and you're just priming your brain to handle this task or get ready for this difficult challenge ahead. And I like to look at a lot of things in life as sports analogies, so I kind of relate this step as, comparing it to a college football head coach who's getting ready for the start of their season. Most of the time, or pretty much every college football head coach you talk to, they all have these preseason goals or these goals they want to hit during the season, and they make sure to write it down in a big whiteboard or write it down on a paper, so that way the whole team can see them right before they start their season or during the season. And I kind of relate this step to that, because by taking the time to just figure out exactly how much you owe, writing it down to the exact amount, and putting that paper on the wall or on a whiteboard or just having it in your phone, it just basically gives your mental brain, or this brain fog of just getting ready for the task ahead and just priming your brain for the challenge of paying off the student loans. And it's such a powerful thing to do, because it just gives you that mental clarity of knowing how much you owe, and you can just get ready for the task ahead. Step number 2, determine which type of payment method you want to take when it comes to paying off your loans. There are 2 types of payment methods that I've used and I've heard other people use as well. First is called the snowball method, and the other one is paying basically the more logical math sense, which is paying off the loans with the highest interest rate first. So when it comes to the snowball method, that method is basically, let's say you had 3 different groups of loans for your student debt. You had a $1,000 loan, you had a $2,000 loan, and you had a $4,000 loan. And if you were using the snowball method, you would essentially knock out the $1,000 loan first, and then move on to the $2,000 loan, then move on to the $4,000 loan. Not basically disregarding any type of interest that the $4,000, if the $4,000 loan had more interest, you would still focus on the $1,000 loan first, because you're using the snowball method, which is basically paying off the loan amount that has the least amount of total money on it, and paying that off first. And essentially that's basically just giving your brain this momentum of, okay, you're kind of building a snowball by tackling the little one first. You're slowly building up a little bit of snow, then you get to the next highest one, you build up a little bit of snow, and then all of a sudden you have this huge, ginormous snowball that will just keep basically rumbling down the hill, and you're creating this really positive momentum. And I know a lot of people use that. I actually used that in the beginning when I was paying off my loans. I started off by paying off the smallest loan amount first, just to give myself that first bit of confidence that I can do this, and that momentum that I needed to kind of see that I'm taking a positive swing of things. And then eventually, let's say towards 3 or 4 months of doing the snowball method, I actually switched to the method of paying off the loans with the highest interest rate first, just because I knew when the loan payments were to kick back on again, that those interests, or the loans with the highest interest rate, would start accruing a lot of interest faster, or greater. So I wanted to just knock it out of the way, because I had already built up enough momentum through the snowball method that I could comfortably kind of pivot away from that method and go for the more logical math-wise method. But overall, you got to find a method that works better for you. And finally, the last step, this one is slightly a little bit more philosophical, less tangible in terms of a step that you can take, but I think it's a really important one to keep in mind. It's just having the mindset and the idea, or just the mindset in general, that paying off your student loans is going to take some time. It may take up to a year, 2 years, 3 years, 10 years, 6 years. And I know this was really important for me, because in the beginning, when I was paying it off, I was super excited. I was getting all this motivation, this energy of just paying it off. And then eventually you kind of hit a bit of a slump, just like with anything. If you're starting a gym habit, any type of habit, you hit a bit of a slump. And what kept me going during that slump was just the idea of knowing that, hey, this is going to take a little bit of time, but if I stop now, it's going to take more time for me to pay this off later. So those are the 3 steps I took to paying off my student loan debt. I know how debt can be exhausting and frustrating to have in your life. It's just an annoying thing to have. So hopefully with these 3 steps, you can have a bit of clarity on how to tackle your debt, and eventually hopefully one day being financially free as well. Thanks again for watching. Bye.